Hey, everybody. I actually was told the other day, we don't say guys anymore. I don't, it's okay. I get it. I want to adapt. I want to get to a space where I can reach everybody. And I'm going to have to look at you again. Again, I am remote. I'm on the laptop. I'm on the phone. Let's go with Instagram Live. YouTube lovers, thank you for following. One day I'll get a crew. I promise. Coffee with NICOA. I got my coffee. I hope you do too. Good morning. Good morning. Big sip this morning. Let's talk about finally figuring out how to let go, how to move on, how to let go and move on. I got a lot of friends and clients this week suffering and holding on to a story, holding on to an experience. And it reminded me of when I quit my job. I quit my job back in 2009, and I've stopped telling the story, but I'm going to tell it for you one more time. When I quit the job, I really suffered, even though I knew I wanted to quit. And I quit in the middle of an economic downturn with a stay-at-home husband and 3 kids, 12 years of age and under, with zero plans. When I quit, though, I then moved on to telling my story over and over again to anyone who would listen. And I was suffering over it. I couldn't quite let go of it. I couldn't move completely on. Even though I'd quit, even though I was doing something different, I kept telling the story almost as if I was trying to rationalize and convince myself that I did the right thing. So I finally had to let it go. And the way I learned how to do that was because I began to notice other people who would quit their jobs and they'd want to talk to me as a coach, and they were stuck in their story. They kept talking about how bad it was at their job, or they kept talking about how their manager sucked and how much they disliked them, and how, over and over and over again. I've even had friends who are in relationships and they want to talk about the relationship over and over and over again. And at the end of the day, in order to move on, you have to accept what was, which means accepting what is in the current circumstance, and then really acknowledging that is the reality. I have to sit with that, acknowledge the emotions that come up for me. I was grieving. I suffered over that quit. I thought I loved being in that world, but then when I made that decision, I was afraid. So I kept thinking about it over and over again. But I have to acknowledge those emotions. What are those emotions then telling me? What are they telling me? Going to the root cause of those emotions. What I had to learn was that I was afraid, and that it made sense. I had to validate myself. It makes sense that you're afraid. Of course you're nervous, NICOA. You'd been doing that for almost 20 years, and now look at you. You quit your job. Well, did you want to quit your job? Yeah, I did. Okay. Well, then can you go ahead and put all your energy towards feeling good and about that decision? The point here is you have to. If you really want to move on, you have to say, yes, I'm intentionally choosing a thought. I'm intentionally choosing a way of seeing the circumstance in order to move forward. And the way you do that is you assess the dichotomy of it all. You have to assess, what is this really, this assessment of my circumstance, again, hand over head. You have to really analyze yourself. What are my thoughts here? What do I want? Am I going to just keep telling the story over and over and over and over and over again? There's a point in time where you must move on, unless you just want to stay there. I usually say it's not that you go there, it's how long do you stay there? What do you need to let go of to let go? What messages are you getting for you to intentionally then advance? Because the goal here is to move on, move forward. I had to ultimately let go of my judgment of my decision, my judgment of myself for making that call and not second guessing it any longer. I had to move forward towards what it was that I actually wanted. And actually, the reason I want to focus on this is because this is the secret to getting everything that you want. Letting go of what has already occurred. Being in the past is really not the point of being here at all. So if you're still holding on to a story and yes, but, and then this happened and it was awful and I can't believe it. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. Well, believe it. It happened. And the sooner you can believe it and get into a space of, well, that happened. I didn't think that was going to happen. I wonder why that happened. Oh, doesn't matter because it happened. Do I need to learn anything by what happened? Well, I don't want that to happen again. Is there anything I could do differently going forward? How can I move forward? Well, I could probably stop talking about it, stop thinking about it, stop worrying about it, stop overanalyzing it. Maybe I could just forgive that person for not knowing any better. Because if they did, maybe they would have acted differently. Or maybe I could forgive myself for not feeling it in that job, right? Forgive myself. Yeah, actually, I should celebrate myself for listening to those emotions, energy and motion moving me towards something else, moving me, advancing me forward. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I don't even know how to sing that song, but you know that song. Let it go. Are you ready to let it go? And then you got to ask yourself, why am I still holding on to it? Well, it's easier if I've got some story to tell and somebody to blame and something to overanalyze and worry about. It's an old habit. But if you really want to move forward, you'll redirect your focus. And I want to read something. Creation is about focus. Focus is about intentional thinking. And intentional thinking means you have to see and feel your way into what you want intentionally. I have to do the work. I have to say, okay, wait, this feels bad. What would feel good? Well, it feel good if they had acted differently. No, that's in the past. Let go of the past and get into the moment now. What would feel good in this moment? Well, you know what? Feels good to dream about the next person or the next job. Let me close my eyes and just fantasize about that for a minute. That feels good. You must find the feel good now so that you can attract and get what you want. That's moving forward. That's letting go in the past. That's moving forward. Oh, and anticipating. Oh, won't that be fun when fill in the blank? Oh, I can just feel it now. I can see it now. I can imagine it now. If you can practice doing that every single day. 2 minutes, just 2 minutes every day. I'm sitting in an Airbnb because at some point during my career, I decided that when I traveled on business, I was going to try not to stay in hotels anymore. I'd like to stay in homes. It's a cute little condo. It happens to be located near my son in his condo, and my daughter who lives there too. And I can walk across the street and see them. I'm still getting my work done. I created a space. I anticipated this type of comfort. I decided intentionally, this is who I am. This is what I do. And as long as this serves me, I'll do it. If I want something even better, I'll do that. Yes, NICOA, but I don't have ABC. Okay, well, then let's back it up for you. Oh, I really am excited about when I get the income to be able to stay in an Airbnb when I travel on business. That is the story. That's letting go of the past, letting go of anything that has been blocking you, and moving forward. You have to accept what is. Someone said in the meeting I did on Friday night, well, what if your boss, how do you talk about helping lift people and managing their energy as the leader, but what about your boss? What if you cannot change that person's mind? What if you've tried every energy level to try to influence them? I say, well, I guess you better accept that they're not going to change. But the chances of you influencing them from a different energy level, of coming to them without attack or judgment and more collaboration, is likely to get them to shift. But if the answer to how likely are they going to shift is 0, then you'll have to work around that. This is the challenge, you guys. But, no, and if, and, yes, and. Start thinking about, well, it is what it is. How can I work around it? What can I do to change my circumstance so it benefits me even more? Accept the circumstance, accept what is, acknowledge it, really assess what emotions are coming up for you. What are those emotions telling you? And then intentionally advance towards the life that you desire. It's okay to feel, but the feelings are there for a reason. So listen to them in order to move forward. Hashtag life by design. I love you guys, all of you. And I'll talk to you soon. Happy Sunday.